Hello, you're watching to Kel67 Gaming, and we haven't done one of these for
A while.
2 months. So technically, can it be our month in gaming, or is it our months in gaming?
I guess months, but
Months. Yeah, this is November and December's months in gaming. So then, 2 months worth of gaming. But I hope everyone isn't expecting
a lot.
lots of stuff, because obviously one of those months was December, and office nights out, big thing in December. Quite a few of those.
But as well, it's one of those times where it's the lead up to Christmas. You're not thinking about playing games as much. You're thinking more about getting your things in for your family and that. So it's one of those things where probably not a lot was going to get played over December.
Aye, there is all that, definitely. But with that being said, we did play. I would hope over 2 months we did play some stuff. But I think we should probably start where we always start,
Yeah.
which is the games that we pick for each other. And what did I pick for you?
Well, for me, you chose a game on the PS4, and it's based off an anime, and the game is Arslan.
So very Dynasty Warriors then.
Yeah, which is quite fair to be honest. It works well. It's obviously a genre which has got its fan base, so it's not the worst decision for game makers to do, is it?
No, it's alright. Cartoon Horse too. But unlike Dynasty Warriors, like Bow and Arrow, all the characters like that. I'm
No.
guessing no.
They've all got their different weapons based on who they are. So, like, some will have a spear, some will have a sword, some will have bow and arrow, some will be more like magic-based attacks and everything. So, it's got the wide variety of weapons that you can use. Just my character has got a bow and arrow. So, and I believe that throughout the game you do actually get more weapons for each character as well. So, some will get more like range on their weapons and everything. So, if they've got like a sword or a dagger, they might get like a spear or something like that. So,
Is it better or worse than Dynasty Warriors? There's the big question.
one thing is I haven't played Dynasty Warriors in quite a while. So,
Well, what if you played Hyrule Warriors or whatever else there is?
oh, that was still a while ago though. So, I wouldn't be able to accurately say since obviously, but there's tons of Dynasty Warriors like games. I think it wasn't long ago when you played the Dragon Quest.
Aye, that's
one.
true.
So,
The Dragon Quest one was alright. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the series, but well, like the Dynasty Warriors Dragon Quest series mainly, I'm a big fan of. But I kind of got in, yeah. Probably because I haven't played it for a while. Maybe I should try another Dynasty Warriors type game.
yeah. I mean, they're all pretty good games. As long as they're pulled off quite well though. So,
Oh, that's very true. You're certainly battling away there. The KO count's not going up massively.
no, it's not. But that's because of the longer range and obviously spread out hours and that being the. So,
It's definitely Dynasty Warriors.
yes. The thing is, it's not a bad thing to be a Dynasty Warriors game.
There's getting to be more and more Dynasty Warriors clones.
But then we say clones, but a lot what could be classed as clones actually gets found out to be made by the same people who made Dynasty
the
Warriors.
Dragon Quest and the Hyrule Warriors, but this isn't.
Not from my awareness.
No, this is someone different. I quite like the art style of it. Obviously,
It's based off the anime, so
a
it'll
lot's
have
taken
the
from
same.
the anime.
Yeah. Which obviously means that it's more original to its source material and everything, being anime and stuff. It's a fun game. I think that's obviously the main thing that should be considered with a game is if it's fun to play. And it's also.
So you say that, but in this day and age, it's all about pay to earn. Got to buy those NFTs. For those who don't know what NFTs are,
I think everyone knows what an NFT is, let's be perfectly honest.
How was it that Jimmy Carr put it? If you think of NFTs as a scam and the people who buy them as fucking idiots, you kind of get the idea.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
we go for fun.
this came out before NFTs, didn't it?
Oh,
So
that's true.
there you go. No pay to earn, and it's a single player campaign. So obviously there was a multiplayer mode called Versus in it, but I haven't tried it out. But the main thing that you go for is the campaign, the story mode, which is very fun. It's very like easy to understand as well, and that it takes like bits from the
But-
anime as well.
It's easy to understand because of mass battle, so long as you know what your objective is and where you're going for the next bit. And,
I'm not talking about the story, so easy to understand.
Oh, right.
At times, like, just playing through it, even if you haven't watched the anime, it's very easy to understand because it uses like little cutscenes and that they've took from the anime as well as like little like screenshots of the scenes, and then makes its own cutscenes from the character models and everything, just to weave it all in together. And it's just an all-round good game.
so you'd recommend it
I'd recommend it
because it kept the cellophane on it for a hell of a long
Oh,
time.
it did, yeah. It did because new
About
shiny
years.
things. New shiny things, isn't it? It's one of those things that happens. That's my bad habit, right?
I know.
I think it's most gamers' bad habit is new shiny thing comes out, flock to it,
Well,
play it. New shiny thing comes out, flock to it, play it.
there
It's
is
just
a
a
little
thing.
bit of that, aye. But you liked it, and if anybody is into Dynasty Warriors,
Dynasty Warriors are just like anime graphics, or even if you're in the anime, it's one of those games where it's easy to get into, easy to play. Definitely highly recommended.
so that was what I asked you to play. You also asked me to play a game, and you being you, it was obviously a PS5 game, and you asked me to play the Rift Breaker. So primarily this game is like a base builder, right? But I wouldn't have made a very good video. So this is me going hunting enemies, and you can see there's quite a lot of them. What you might also actually, people watching might not be able to see because we're probably in the corner above the numbers. I've probably not got enough ammo to do this, but I've got a few weapons, so we'll see how it goes. You can see that big thing's just like laughing at me at the minute, but you know, we'll just have a little shoot about here and see what we can do.
Not a lot by the looks of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of running away happening here. What you may or may not be able to see is that I'm also losing an awful lot of health every time I get hit. Right? I'm sure I've got some grenades somewhere and they'll get used. Oh, if I'm still alive in a few
I'm
seconds.
guessing you're vastly underleveled
Aye.
because you know that's
'Cause
something
that's-
that you just do in games.
Aye. Well, aye. Standard.
Well, it's not a standard, is it? It's just something
Standard for
that,
me.
yeah, standard for you. You go into stuff way underleveled, hoping to beat it.
But look, I've got a shotgun. I mean, granted, it's not actually doing anything, but I've got a shotgun.
Yeah,
Oh, there was a. Do you see a grenade went out there?
I don't think I'll do that much either. Let's be honest.
Well, that's just hope for the best, eh? If you look in the top left corner of the screen, you see it says "Kill the aggressive creature." Hopefully, at some point that goes green, and then we can get the hell out of here. It's not looking likely, is
You've
it?
also got to build an alien research lab whilst being chased.
Yeah, I've got bigger problems at the minute. We're not base building though. They're just laughing at my grenades. Have you noticed?
They're shrugging it off. At this point, I don't know why you even try.
Because I'm. That's what I do.
You make silly decisions.
Aye. Couple of grenades in there. There you go. So on paper, this is like my perfect game.
Base building.
Base building. There's a bit of tower defense in there, a bit of strategy.
And an isometric shooter, not an
Well,
FPS.
aye, but do you know they kind of didn't all work together. A big problem was that from the strategy point of view, you only control one unit, and I get it that unit doubles up as like what would be a mouse on a Grand RTS, but it just it didn't have the soul for me. That, do you know, like when you play.
You're just trying to say it's not Warhammer 40k, isn't it?
Actually, I don't think I've played a Warhammer 40k RTS. But like when you play like the likes of an Age of Empires or a Command and Conquer or something like that, there's like you get really invested in it. It was kind of a little bit by the numbers. I mean, mechanically it's decent. All the different parts of the game are all right, but something was lost when they were all put together.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of didn't know what I wanted to be. Is basically what I'm saying.
it's understandable that when you throw multiple genres together, it's not always going to work.
Aye.
There's tons of games
I mean,
that are examples of that, and there's tons of games which are
Don't get
examples
me
of
wrong.
good ones.
It wasn't unenjoyable. It just
Wasn't as enjoyable as you expected, potentially.
you wanted it to be so much more.
Yeah, which isn't the worst thing to say about a game, but
But it is what it is. So anyone who's got PS5, I mean, it's not like it's an expensive game. So obviously, feel free to try it yourself and see what you think. But it just fell a bit short for me.
which is, I get it. Pretty much every game's going to be like that for some people,
Yeah.
isn't it? So
That's true.
just one of those games, isn't it?
So, what else did you play over the last couple of months?
Well, I also play the PS5 game because of course I would.
They're a surprise
Yeah.
that you played something up to date.
That's a surprise. Well, you say up to date. It's actually more of a remaster / remake.
Okay.
And I went and played Onechamba Origin. Yeah, we'll go with a two bosses for one deal here. Luckily, I've got my two characters.
There's a problem with one of your characters here. Right? Because I'm not being funny. If you're playing Bikini Zombie Slayers, one of them's not wearing a bikini.
No.
I'm sure there's like a Trade Descriptions Act or something that says that that's not what you're supposed to have.
Nah. Well, the thing is, Saki is one of the bosses in the game, so you only actually get after a boss fight. But yeah, we'll go just one last health bar to go through here.
So, I mean, obviously we're looking hack and slash here.
We are.
But how good a hack and slash is it? Is it God of War?
That's the thing. When I was playing through it, I found quite similarities to the original God of War games and the combat and everything.
Is it as
even
good as
in the
Devil
UI.
May Cry? Is it Bayonetta? Do you know? I mean, how good is it really?
Well, it's actually good.
Because I'm not being
Slash.
funny. When it's
It's-
marketed as bikini zombie
Yeah.
colours,
It's-
you're not expecting.
You're not
the best.
expecting the best, but it's actually quite a good game. It's got good solid mechanics. But the thing is, I would probably compare it the most to God of War, if I'm being perfectly honest.
It doesn't look like God
No.
of War.
But the UI and everything, like the interface where like your hitbox and everything, even the mechanics of going into a rage mode, because you do have one of them, is very similar to God of War. So I would probably compare the most to God of War, but I wouldn't say it's as good maybe or better. I'd say but it's still a good hack and slash, and with it being on PS Plus, it's probably a really good one to download and play if you've got it.
No. I just think a lot of these are kind of button mashers. Oh, I did like the expulsion of blood there. That was alright.
One.
Now, you said PS5 game. You played it on the PS5, but is this not a PS4 game?
It came out originally as PS4, yes.
Aye.
Played it on PS5, but actually, it is a remaster.
Is this a PS5 remaster of the PS4 game?
No, the PS4 was a remaster
Oh, right, okay.
because it explicitly says it's a remaster of Onechamba 1 and 2. Hence the name Origin in a way, because there's been multiple of these games. Like there was one on Wii, one on 360. I think the originals came out on PS2.
So obviously, hack and slash.
Hack and
We
slash.
covered that.
Yeah,
And you reckon that it's a lot like...
the original God of War is more.
I mean, from an artistic standpoint, it seems to me more like Bayonetta, but gone a bit
yeah.
further.
If it's going purely off just the art style and everything, it's not God of War.
No, definitely not.
Game mechanics wise, more God of War.
All right.
It with me comparing it to God of War, I'd say it's more mechanically based compared to the original ones. Art style wise, it in a way I don't even know if it's really Bayonetta. I
No.
think it's its own thing because it's got the anime graphic style, and
It's the whole fan service thing.
yeah, in a way that I guess art style you could say more Dead or Alive,
No, okay.
more anime, more like hand drawn anime Dead or Alive mixed
Right.
with a hack and slash.
Okay, I'll go with that.
That makes sense.
But you obviously liked it because
Yeah.
you played it all the way through and completed it.
Yeah, it's a good game. Easy to understand story because it's not the main point of the game, as it's more combat and art style for this game, but still quite a good one. And even though you've completed it, you still can go back because there's infinite survival and everything like that. So it is one of those games where I'm probably gonna go back and try and see how far I can get an infinite survival. But it's one which it'll be like maybe like a few hours maybe here and there, but not too much since I've obviously played it through and everything. Then if I was to go back to it, like play the story again, it'd probably be a while before. Like I'd have to play a few games afterwards.
No.
It's one of them things.
Fair enough, I guess. So I guess as long as it was fun to play, that's all you asked for from a game. Let's think, what else have I played this last couple of months? I tell you what, but it came on PS Plus, so I was playing it on the PS5, but originally PSP game, and turns out to be a great one. I hadn't actually played it before because we don't have it on the PSP, but I played Ridge Racer 2. So here we go. Know this track really well. This is Mythical Coast from, of course, Ridge Racer, which is probably my favourite in the series. I do like Ridge Racer a lot. I'd like this one more if you could buy and upgrade cards instead of just getting them. But I guess limitations of the PSP and that, didn't take that corner well at all. I really need to take this hairpin well. Oh, look at that.
But this game's kind of a lot like it's a mix of both things which you love, isn't it? The PSP and racing games.
It's not just that. I really like Ridge Racer. I know we haven't had a proper Ridge Racer game for a long time.
Last one was 360, wasn't it, or something like that?
Was it Unbounded on the 360?
It was that generation of consoles, I remember.
But I always loved Ridge Racer, and this one, I think it's got like all the tracks up to, I think, Ridge Racer 5, which was probably the most recent when this one came out originally. And I have to say, playing PSP games on the PS5, I know it's a complete waste of the PS5's horsepower, but it's such an enjoyable experience. Playing PSP on the big screen with a proper DualSense 5 controller, and I know that you can emulate on PC and get similar results when it comes to resolution and what have you. But just playing.
It
PSP,
also feels like playing a PSP game on a PlayStation console.
I mean, I love the PSP anyway, but PS Plus putting PSP games on, and apparently the only reason that they've done it is because they're struggling so much with the PS2 emulation on it.
Is it?
So they're putting PSP games on instead.
Which even then they're not putting a lot. Let's be honest.
Well, there is that, but I'm all for that because, like I say, love the PSP, love the library games on it. So this one, tracks wise, it's like a greatest hits. It's got like everything from Ridge Racer, Revolution, Ridge Racer, Rave Racer, Ridge Racer. They're all on there. Do you know what I mean? All the tracks that you know and love. I especially love Ridge Racer, as you know. And it was great to play those in a better resolution than the PS1 version. However,
it's still not a PS5 version, is it?
Upgradable cars. Which was very disappointing. I mean, you keep unlocking different versions of the same cars
They're not that big of a difference, so it just increases its top speed, doesn't
Aye,
it?
exactly.
And the thing is, they give them to you that often as well, don't they?
Well, after every race series that you win, you get a car. It was like on Rage Racer, you had to save up your credits and you had to upgrade your engines.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And obviously with the PSP's limitations, the cars look very, very similar.
a lot of them do, aye. But they do look like cars from the Ridge Racer series as well. But even that is a bit problematic because when you're playing, for example, you're playing on one of the original Ridge Racer tracks, and you've got the Ganadia Esperanza. That's great, we know that car, but not that one on Ridge Racer because that's the one of Ridge Racer 5. Playing on track on Ridge Racer 1, it's like, whoa, that's not how it's meant to be. Do you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it is the greatest hits, but I think
It's the greatest hit of tracks.
when they kept giving you different cars that were essentially the same car, but with a different top speed, maybe they could have used the different versions of the same cars,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense, I guess.
But I guess, like you say, limitations of the PSP probably didn't allow that to happen. Game itself, though, absolutely brilliant. The drift mechanic is brilliant, works really well. I mean, to the fact where, like I say, I love Rage Racer, it's probably my favourite in the series. But Rage Racer's drift mechanic is a little bit broken. It doesn't really work that well. But playing on the Rage Racer tracks on this one, with a better drift mechanic,
It's a lot better.
was much more fun to do. Go figure.
Well, it's one of those things where, with improvements to the series, it's also going to get better mechanics and everything. And when you bring it back to different maps and everything, previous ones, it's going to feel different. It's either going to be for the better or the worse.
What playing this though has done for me is made me want another Ridge Racer game. I forgot how much I like when it comes to arcade racing games. Ridge Racer is just brilliant fun. It's not one, like Forza Horizon. You'll sit down, you play it for hours at a time. Play this in like 5-minute bursts.
Yeah, I can understand that you do it a Grand Prix or like a race.
I mean, it's probably made for doing 5 minutes bursts because it was originally a PSP game.
It's one of those where you do a set of races, then
Exactly,
you
yeah.
stop.
Great fun. Anyone who's got PS Plus, what's the one we've got? The tier is.
It's the top tier, isn't it?
I don't know.
It
what
only
you call
comes
it.
with top tier. I think it's premium, isn't it?
If you've got it, download Ridge Racer to play it. Even if you played it on PSP, I would imagine it's a much better experience the way that I played it on the PS5.
Bigger screen to play it
Exactly, aye.
on. Probably a better control as well. So.
Exactly. So yeah, absolutely love that. What else have you played?
Well, I went on the Nintendo Switch, and with obviously Christmas having been and gone, I did play some of the games that I got. One of them being Pokemon Violet.
You do like these.
Well, they're such enjoyable games, aren't they? And they come out for pretty much every Nintendo console they release, because it is a big seller for them, isn't it?
Oh, I had a few for the Switch.
This is like the 4th or 5th.
Or 8th or 9th, depending on how you count them, because like
If
they bring them out in twos, don't they?
Not all of them. I think Legends Arceus was just one.
Oh, Legends Arsehole was just the one, was it? Right, okay.
But and I would consider this is the, I guess, 3rd new one, because they did remaster Diamond and Pearl for the Switch. But this is the 3rd original. You had Sword and Shield, you had Legends Arceus, and you had Violet and Scarlet.
So what's the goalkeeper called here then?
Well, it's the thing is the entire, I guess, story of this Pokemon is there's Pokemon from the future, and this is one of them. This is a future form of, I can't necessarily remember, but it's an evolution Pokemon.
This is Cyborg Jordan Pickford then. Is that what we're going for? Looks like he's ready to let a penalty in.
But no, it's like this entire fight here is like it's just all the future Pokemon and that you can get.
Well, they're obviously not future because they're in the game.
Well, they're from the future. That's the thing. It's like there's a portal which you've just which you're starting to close off, and that's when you get the boss
Why are you all
battle.
sparkly?
That's the thing. In Sword and Shield, you had what was it, Mega Pokemon, where they went really big. In this one, you
Oh,
got,
I remember you playing that. Aye,
And-
when King Kong.
yeah, in this one you got terrestrialized Pokemon where they go all crystally, they get higher attacks and everything. But like you can have Pokemon like change their type as well, doing it. So like, you can have a Gyarados who's a poison type instead of a water type, and stuff like that.
All right, okay.
So it kind of means that if your Pokemon's weak to a certain Pokemon, you can terrestrialize them if they've got a different type, and then they're not weak to it, and stuff like that. So it kind of plays out well. But they should take it out.
You're spamming the flower trick.
Well, it's a guaranteed critical hit,
All right, okay, I see.
and it's also quite a powerful one, and it's... Now, you know what you're getting into with a Pokemon game.
They're all the
realistically.
same, aren't they?
They're all the same mechanically, because it's, it's a series which everyone loves.
It's like
They don't want to do many
it's supposed
changes
to be your entry level into JRPG, basically.
It is, but
But even though you're into proper RPGs, you still
I
go
still
back to.
love Pokemon, and it's one of those things where Pokemon's just such a fun and lovable series, and even though it changes with different regions, different Pokemon coming in, different versions of Pokemon, it's still got the same charm. It's still the same mechanics. So it's very familiar, and like with Pokemon, you can play any of them realistically, and there's
Yeah.
not many changes, but the graphics and the Pokemon and the region. So they're all really good games to just pick up, play, and obviously Nintendo, they're quite settled into you've got a portability of your system, so I guess that's also a big factor into it. Like,
I think that's the biggest plus with the Switch is because it's not
It
just
can
a
have this-
handheld, it's also the docked version. I think being able to play Pokemon properly on a console, on the TV,
yeah,
that's kind of the way that it should always have been, and I know that it never was.
no, but even for like, it's one of those games where with it being on Nintendo Switch, you can play it docked. Then if you're going somewhere and you like still want to play, you can take it handheld and just continue. It's a really good game as well. Obviously, the most recent Pokemon game just came out this year, and it's a good game. I've absolutely loved it, and I like the fact that they've actually made a lot more to do with this Pokemon game compared to others. Like the one before this that I played through on Nintendo Switch was Sword, which was I believe 2 Pokemon games ago, like before this one on Switch, and that only had the typical get your 8 gym badges, you go on, you
And
beat
they
the Elite
reused
Four.
3DS assets, which didn't really work on the Switch.
Yeah, but it was the typical Pokemon. You get your 8 badges, you go on, you beat the Elite Four, you become champion. Now you can do whatever you want. You can fill out your Pokedex, you can do some training, you can go back and battle some of the gym leaders and stuff. Whereas in this one, you've actually got, I believe, 4 different stories.
Alright.
But one unlocks after you've done the other 3. So it's like
So you
you've
still
got-
got plenty to do then?
there's still a lot to do. Like you've got one where you're helping one of the other students like get herbs from like Titan Pokemon, which is like bigger, more powerful versions of normal ones and stuff, which help power up the legendary because you get it at the very beginning for some reason, which is very unlike Pokemon in a way because you typically get them towards the end. You've obviously got the standard get the 8 gym badges, become champion, and then you've got defeat the like enemy teams. So like obviously the original being Team Rocket, this one's Team Star. You beat them, you beat the leader, and then that's your 3 main ones, and then you've got the 4th one, which you only unlock after beating the rest. So it's got a lot more content than other Pokemon games, which is quite good. It means that you can go back to it and it's got a lot more to do in it.
So I'm guessing that that's going to be something that you continue playing then.
Yeah, definitely.
Another game that I've played the last couple of months is one that I play every year, and I don't play it as obsessively as most people do. I don't get suited for cup finals and what have you. I don't actually play more than one season in it, so I never really rebuild the team. But I did play Football Manager 2023. So here we go. You see the lineup for this big match.
O'Reilly playing in a more defensive position.
Because I'm with Calmac further forward. See, you've got to play at people's strengths, and Calmac's great coming from deep. You can see the current Premiership table. It's basically all done already, but you know, that's only because I'm awesome. And here we go into the match proper. You see, Motherwell here have the ball, so we'll have to defend this well. Let's see how well we can defend it. That was well defended.
I think that was a good ball by Jota there to get it through to Haksabanovic.
Oh, there's plenty good balls there. O'Reilly to Jota to Haksabanovic, and his ball through to Kyogo. All outstanding. That's how you defend. Oh, squeaky bum time now. McKinstry's levelled it all up for Motherwell.
It's not what you want to see, is it?
Nah, that's definitely not what you want to see. Especially not when they're wearing that god-awful strip. They deserve nothing. Bloody awful.
Well, the Crown wear their away one. They're nice kit because Celtic's wearing their home kit, aren't they?
Oh, but it's still bloody awful.
Well, they might change it next season, right?
Well, let's see how Celtic can get on here then. Nice bit of possession here. Good ball forward there, but CCV, it's Haksabanovic again. Oh, Kyogo's good at that. 28th goal of the season. It's almost as many as real Kyogo. Aye, you can see how I've set my team up. I do like to go forward. Defending's what other teams do. That's the mentality that I got from real life Ange. Oh, they've managed to clear it. Oh, wait a minute. The wee Portuguese guy just scored a cracker. All of a sudden, it's looking like we're on course for a win here.
It certainly does, but it's only the first half, so can't get too far forward.
But what a ball that was by Greg Taylor. Jota just smashed it in the top corner. Just like real Jota. What are we up to now then? Bit of possession play for Celtic again. CCV just fitting the ball like he does. Oh, Jota likes to have a wee run. Oh, they've got it away. What a ball by Haksabanovic, by the way. The Portuguese guy does it again. He's good.
He is.
I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah, they'd be a pain to go against, wouldn't they?
Lovely goal, that. Oh, he's got a penalty now. That'll be the hat-trick.
He's not the normal penalty taker, though, is he?
No, he's not. But he did all right. Put it in the back of the net, got his hat-trick. Everyone's happy. Well, everyone that's not wearing that god-awful Motherwell kit. Oh, but Motherwell on the way back here. No. O'Reilly's just nicked it there. Oh, what a ball by Hatate. Oh my God, that's a brilliant goal. Haksabanovic.
Yeah, I don't think there's any recovering now, is there?
Yeah, I think my team's doing all right. This was some ball by Rio Hatate, though. Look at that. Oh, look. I won the league. Actually, I won the treble. But, you know.
But how well did you do in the Champions League, then?
Just got to the round of 16.
Yeah, it's still quite good.
I thought it was all right. But there we go. Carmichael just left our trophy. Set the fireworks off and all the confetti. Off we go. Job's a good one. And that's me. I played a season, I won a treble, and I don't feel the need to play anymore.
Till the next Football Manager.
I've
then.
proved my point.
So it'll be till the next Football Manager. Then.
Probably. But I feel like I've proved my point now. So I know that some people are really obsessive about this.
Yeah,
this
they play
series.
multiple seasons until the new one comes out, and even then they might not play the new one.
I play this like I play Madden or MLB The Show. I play one season. I do whatever I need to do. Obviously, being a Celtic fan, I'm starting with a team doesn't need a massive rebuild.
No.
So I can just like kind of enjoy playing a season, get them playing the way that I want to play. And once again,
But even then, you don't stray away from how Celtic normally play.
well, because it's like the way that I like football to play. You should be playing all out attack all the time. I mean, that's the way it should go. It doesn't work too well for me or real Celtic in Europe, like. But you know, I enjoy my time with it every year. Play through a season. I did manage to pick up domestic treble again on this game. So everyone's happy. I've done what I wanted to do. Rinsed out of some Chivos because I won trophies.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the need to keep going with it. Because I don't actually, and like I say, some people get really obsessive about it.
I play seasons and seasons and seasons.
But I don't really get into the whole, negotiating appearance bonuses and stuff like that for players, and like increasing the capacity of the stadium by 200 people, and that doesn't really appeal to me. Playing football and working out the tactics and
winning trophies and
what
stuff.
formation you're going to play and what players is going to fit best in that. I get that bit. All the other stuff, like I don't care how much the hamburgers and the hot dogs cost in the concession stand. I know people get really into it, and I'm not rocking it if you do. I don't put a suit and tie on for the cup final. Right? But people apparently do this. Right?
Yeah.
But I just play through it, and it's like, oh, the cup final's the next match. Play. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, played it, loved it. I mean, it's not the best game that I've ever played. It's not the worst game I've ever played. It is what it is. Done me for a season. That's me finished till 2024.
Meh. So was that your final game?
That was my final game of the month, eh?
Well, I haven't got one more. Again, a Nintendo Switch game, and again, a one which I got at Christmas. This one being Captain Tsubasa, Rise of Champions.
So here we go then. Anime football.
Yeah, very good football game as well. Just dance through these two, charge up the shot to get an even powerful one.
See, I didn't think he had enough time to muck about with swinging his leg back like that. There you go, goal. I take it as Captain Tsubasa then.
That is Tsubasa, yes. Yeah, and the thing is, each footballer, each player on the park has different like special shots as well, which do different things. They typically like
I'm taking it some of them are really bad though.
Some players just don't actually have one, so like your defenders won't, which makes sense. But no, it's one of those things, and you can only actually get it after you've successfully dribbled past two players, as well, or like one depending on if it's the last defender, roughly.
Right. So no Gary Lineker's here then.
So pretty much just it's in a fairness as well, but you've also got to look at your gauge as well, because it does actually matter, because if you've not got enough, then you can't dribble past them, you can't do your special shot and everything as well, so you do have to charge that up.
You're not very good at passing.
I'm trying to do something different, because I typically don't try and do long like crosses in, so I'm trying to get a cross in to maybe get like an aerial goal.
An awful lot of this is like super side kicks though.
That makes a good football game.
The way they tackle in that. The way they get smacked off the ball as well, to be fair.
But it is just a fun game. With a, I believe it's got up to 4-player co-op as well. So makes for, I'm guessing, what would be probably a good online game.
I'm not sure when you're petting fouls like that, and I mean they are the sort of tackles that there's very few teams in this world get away with.
You see, Sever Drive Shot's got a bullet shot.
No, he can't score with it though, can he?
Well, this is the thing. Even though they've got these massive shots, the keepers still somehow get them.
All right, okay, Pele. Me too then.
Once again for Captain Tsubasa.
Is that like cheating having him on your team?
No, not actually. He's just like the team's star player, which each team has one. Now, straight away, better than FIFA.
Oh, absolutely. it's an absolute clone of Super Sidekicks.
But with the Captain Tsubasa license.
Well, it can't be perfect in every way.
Well, it's Captain Tsubasa, so it's still good. And no Ultimate Team, so no microtransactions. Positive.
Bonus.
You get to create your own teams. There's like 4 or 5 different team slots that you can make.
Fair enough.
3 different campaigns.
Sounding good.
And you even get to create your own play through a campaign as your own player, build them up. You get to choose the team that to start off with and everything. You get to play a campaign as Captain Tsubasa and his team, and then you get to play another one which I believe is internationals as well.
It seems reasonable. Good choice of game modes and what have you.
Yeah, it's a very good fun game.
But we can't get away from the fact that it's an anime game. I did kind of expect it to be an RPG. Because that's what you expect from them.
Well, you say that. Not always.
No, I guess not.
Not always. Anime games you typically just expect to either be an RPG or fast-paced action. They're the 2 main ones, let's be perfectly honest.
I guess it falls into fast-paced action, doesn't it?
Yeah, in a way, because it is fast-paced football.
The shots are cheesy though, aren't they?
At times, yes.
Pure cheese. There's no skill involved at all, is there?
Somewhat. You have to, like...
Don't try and pretend there's skill involved. It's pure cheese.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like Adidas Power Soccer, for those that remember that on the PS1.
The only skill you've got is managing your limit. Like, your gauge and that for power.
You get your Predator kick and you win.
But it's a fun game. Like, especially just... Even if it's one that you're just picking up and playing like a game or 2, it's a fun game to play.
And it is short bursts as well, which is
good. The matches don't last overly long. And the thing with this is matches don't even last 90 minutes. They last 60.
But
each half is
all things are relative. You're still spending 10-15 minutes per match.
You're still spending a bit of time per match, and obviously with the campaigns and everything, there's a bit of story, a bit of background, a bit of, I guess, what you could class as visual novel-esque bits where it's just dialogue in between halves, in between matches, stuff like that. But it's an all-round good football game.
We need more football games.
That's what you can ask for.
There used to be hundreds of football games, and you could always find one that you want. Now it's
FIFA.
It's like, if you're not going to buy microtransactions, you might as well not play a football game.
Well, that's the thing. There's only one real football game.
No.
Because even PES is now
PES
eFootball, and that's just done. No one plays it. Let's be honest.
And that was the one that I did play.
And eFootball now is just pure microtransactions.
No.
Barely any teams. I don't even know if there's a season mode in it. Because when I tried it, you could only play exhibitions. There was only 7 teams.
No, that's not the way to go.
That's horrendous. Then FIFA's FIFA.
No.
Because it's made by EA.
We need more football games. I think we're fully on board with this. We need more football games. What we need is on that A500 Mini. Let's get Sensi on that.
Yeah.
Sensi's the way to go.
But also Captain Tsubasa being on Nintendo Switch, it's a more recent game as well.
No.
It's on, I believe this one's also on PS4 as well. So it's on a range of
I
consoles.
don't think it fits as well on PS4 as it does on the Switch.
Probably not, but it's also not the first Captain Tsubasa game. There's multiple.
No,
So
you haven't played them though.
this is the first one that I've played, and it's very enjoyable. And I'd recommend it for anyone who has a Nintendo Switch, because it's just a fun football game.
So that's everything that we've played over the last couple of months. So we're at that point in the video now where we have to decide what we're going to give each other to play. And we always say over the next month, but
This could be the next few months, let's be perfectly honest.
depends.
Because this was 2 months before this one.
Depends how slack we are at this point in the year. Because actually a lot happens first in the beginning of the year as well, so you never know.
Might be another 2 months.
Well, we'll see.
Hopefully not, but...
So, who's going first?
Well, for you, I've chosen a game that we did, once again, get at the Christmas time. And for you, I've chosen the original Shenmue.
That's good. I was going to play that anyway, so.
Game that you're going to play anyways, but I thought,
Alright.
you know what, a little bit of incentive. So,
Yeah, really happy with that. I'll definitely play a bit of Shenmue. For you, again, another one that you got for Christmas, I would like you to play Shin Megami Tensei, Lucifer's Call, kick Dante's arse.
I don't think that'll be. I think Dante will be potentially a party member after the boss battle. Maybe. Because
Yeah, we'll see.
that's typically what it is. But
We'll see.
another game which I was going to play, but I was kind of waiting until after I played Pokemon. You know, play an RPG, start another one. Because it's always nice to have an RPG on the go, isn't it?
It can be aye.
As long as you just don't lose track of it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
As long as you keep up to date with where you are, play bits and bursts, sometimes go on a longer play session here and there as well. It's not the worst thing to have on the go.
No, definitely not. But that's us done for this video.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't already,
Give us a like, share and subscribe, and turn the notification bell so you get notified when we upload, and we will see you in the next video.